Hi, Lucy here, High Flow coach and mentor. And today I'm going to be covering grit and the different types of grit. And then we're just going to lean into one of those types of grit. So first of all, let's cover the different types, because when I think personally of grit, it is that perseverance. You'll grit your teeth, you persevere, you push through. And that was really how I thought of grit. That was just one thing until I was trained to understand that there's more. There are actually 6 different types of grit. So that's the first one. It's that grit to persevere with whatever you're doing. The second one is the grit to control your thoughts. The third one is the grit to be your best when you're actually feeling at your worst. And that's a really tough kind of grit. The fourth one is the grit to work on your weaknesses. The fifth one is the grit to master fear, which is a huge one for so many people, including myself. And then the last one, which we're going to cover today, is the grit to recover. Who ever thought that you needed grit to recover? But if you're somebody who really wants to push forward, you're going for peak performance, you want to be your best, you want to get the best result with whatever you're doing, whether that's sport, whether it's music, whether it's at work in your business, whether it's your own business or even somebody else's, and you just want to be the top performer in your company, then having the grit to recover is really an important thing, and something that perhaps you don't even think of as important, but it is, because if you want to be a peak performer, having the grit to recover is a key to your success. Because when you can have that grit and add that into your schedule, you're going to have a huge uplift in energy. And so the grit to recover, leaving time in your day, throughout your day. Now, these can be small sections of time. It might just be 3 or 4 minutes. It might be 10, 20, or even 30 minutes. It might even be an hour to recover. And you're thinking, but Lucy, I've got so much to get done. I don't have time to take those 10 minutes, that half an hour, those hours out of my day. I've got to get so much done. But if you imagine, if you're sitting at your desk and you're working on something and you start to nod off and you're like this, and you're forcing yourself to push through, but actually it's taking you 2 or maybe 2.5 or even 3 times as long as it would if you had stopped and powered yourself up, ready to take that on again. So that's what we're talking about here, the grit to recover. So in the smaller amounts of time throughout your day, and this is one I found really useful, there are lots of different things that you can do, small things, just for a couple of minutes that make a huge difference, and it doesn't seem like it. One of them is breath work. So just thinking about your breath, perhaps breathing in for the count of 4 seconds through your nose, holding for 4 seconds, and then breathing out through your mouth for maybe 8, 10, or even 12 seconds really slowly, and just doing that over and over for 2 or 3 minutes. So that's one of the things you can do. Another thing is to just stare at something, right? And not your computer. I find staring at clouds, I do cloud staring. Some other people will do wall staring. So if you've got a blank wall like I've got behind me, just staring at the wall for 3-4 minutes, absolutely nothing else going off, no devices around you, nobody else around you, and just completely shutting down and not thinking about anything. Another great one I find is stretching. There are lots of different things you can add in here, and then you find the ones that suit you, and you can do 2 or 3 or even 4 of them all at the same time. So I find I cloud stare, I breathe with the breath work, and I do stretching all at the same time. So I'm actively recovering in a short period of time, and I'm doing 3 of the active recoveries. So I'm stacking them one on top of the other. So that's a great way. Now, another way for a longer period of time, it might be going for a walk in nature. Now, if you're in the city, that might be tricky. If you're near a park, definitely go into the park, even just sitting on a bench, or walking around the pond and back into your office again. Get out, clear your head, breathe in the air, and then that is your recovery. And if you can do something else like the breath work while you're doing that kind of active recovery, fantastic. Another thing that I found was really good was literally deciding to do different types of exercise. So I always exercised once a week and would do perhaps other bits of exercises, but it wasn't consistent. So then I decided, do you know what? I've got a bicycle sitting in the shed. I'm going to use that bicycle on Monday mornings and Friday mornings, and I'm going to go out for a bike ride. And I'm not a cyclist, but I've kept that going for months and months and months now. And that is active recovery. That is me actively recovering from all the stuff I've got going on in my head, all the videos, all the people I'm training, the people that I'm coaching, the courses that I'm running, and it just takes me away. And I've got no other devices. There's nothing else there, just myself and my bike, and off I go. So you might want to go swimming. That might be your thing. You might want to go to a class, and that's your active recovery. You might do yoga. That was something else I added in. And so that active recovery time, although it's not a waste of time, that's the thing. To get your head around, that's not a waste of time. That is useful grit recovery time. So work on that grit. What could you add in this week, starting today or tomorrow, if you're listening to this in the evening? What could you add in this week, next week, and then do it every single week or every single day if it's a smaller amount of time, to help you to recover so that you can reach peak performance? That is going to make such a big difference to you. Do click on the next video that's showing up on screen to help you to become that peak performer and to get into flow more easily, and also to improve your general health, because when you improve your general health, your energy improves and your productivity improves, and then you're going to reach that peak performance. So see you soon.